Subject EVS 1, Standard 4th. My name is Shruti Nanavre. So students, today we are going to learn a new lesson in EVS 1, that is storage of water. And before starting a lesson, I will ask a question. And the question is, who am I? I fall from the sky and make you wet. So bring your umbrellas and you will be set. So can you guess what it is? Let me give you a hint. Yes, correct. It's water. We need water to survive. We need water for drinking, cooking, bathing, the water used in factories, the water used for doing agriculture, and the water used for generating electricity. So, water is used to do all the various different types of activities, and it is so important for all of us. What will happen if there will be no water? Yes, the picture clearly tells if there will be no water, there will be no life, there will be no trees, there will be no animals. We cannot live without water. And what will happen if there is water on the earth? Yes, you will get to see earth is covered with full greenery. The life exists with the help of water. As everyone loves the nature, everyone loves the greenery of the nature. So, from where does this greenery comes? This greenery comes from the water. And from where do we get this water? Yes, we get this water from rain. Rain is the main source of water, and when it rains, the rainwater gets collected into different water bodies. And now we will learn about the different water bodies. So before starting with the sources of water, now first we will start with the activity. Here is an image of a hillock which is made up of stones and mud. Now let's pour some water over hillock from watering can like rain. So what do you observe here? Yes, you can see that water flows down fast and rapidly from the steeper slope, and it flows quietly, smoothly and slowly on the gentler slope, while some water changes its direction and moves in other direction while flowing. Why the water changes its direction? Because there is an obstruction in its way. So students, what will happen if we stop watering? Let's see. As we stop watering, the surface of the hillock starts drying. This is because the process of absorption stops and water seeps into the hillock. The stone part of the hillock dries quickly, but the mud part of the hillock took long time to dry because the more water had seeped into the ground. So students, while doing this activity, you must have observed that the rainwater which is seeped into the mud reaches the layer of solid rocks and get collected over there as a groundwater, while some water comes out to the surface in form of springs, while some water slides off or flows away over the ground as surface water and fills ponds, lake, river and seas. And now we will look at the water bodies. And the first one is pond. So, what is pond? A small depression in the ground in which the water gets collected is called pond. And the second one is lake. So, what is lake? A very large water depression in which water gets collected is called lake. Third water body is stream. So, what is stream? A continuous flow of fresh water over a naturally formed bed is called a stream. And the next water body is spring. What is spring? Water coming out of cavities in the soil, rocks or mountain is called spring. Next water body is tank. Tank is not a natural water body, it is a man-made thing. We have to create it using stones, cement, etc. A large depression dug to collect and store water is called tank. And the next water body is ocean. Oceans are a very large salt water bodies. As we know, the rainy season lasts for 3 to 4 months. So, we have to store the rainwater and we have to use it for the remaining months. As we know, the 3/4 part of earth is covered with water, from which 97% of water is found in oceans and seas. The water which is present in ocean and seas is salt water. As all living things need water to live, so it is our duty to use water very carefully without wasting. Now we will see how we can use the water carefully. Take shorter bath. Close tap while brushing teeth. Turn off the tap after each use. We should save water because each and every drop of water counts. So now we will start with our next topic, that is storage of water. The storage of water is divided into two methods, two groups: traditional method and modern method. Now we will look at the traditional method. The traditional methods include wells, water tanks, draw wells, rivers and bunds, old reservoirs and old tanks. Traditional method. Traditional methods means the methods used for storing water in olden days. In our state, a variety of methods of storing water were existing in the olden days. In olden days, we used to see many methods for storing water were used. Nowadays, these stores are rarely used. Rarely used means we do a very minimum use of it. You will only get to see these old stores of water in the rural areas. However, their remains can be seen at many places. but still in rural areas when you go, you can get to see the old storage of water. Now we will look at the different traditional methods which were used in the olden times. The first one is draw well. What is draw well? In the olden times, people used to call the draw well as an ad. In the past, the draw wells were used to get the drinking water. The people used to dug the well to get the drinking water. And the people used to remove the water from the well using a small pot, and they used to call that small pot as pohra. And that pohra is tied to a rope. Atpadi village in Sangli district of Maharashtra has a draw well in each and every vada. These draw wells went out of use when the tap water system was introduced. Next one is water tank in forts. During the rule of Shivaji Maharaj, the water tanks and reservoirs were built in the fort for the people who were living on the hill forts, so that they should not face any problem regarding the water. And these water tanks and reservoirs had given a great relief to the soldiers, as they do not face any difficulty while guarding the fort. Now let's see about rivers and bunds. Let's see what are rivers and bunds. A small earthen wall created across the channel of a river from one bank to the opposite bank of river to store a water is called rivers and bunds. As these bunds are made using cement, stones and bricks, this is not a natural resource, it is a man-made resource. It is also called as a masonry bund. And the next one is old reservoirs. A good amount of water is collected in the form of artificial lake is called a reservoir. A reservoir is generally made up of using stones and mortar. It is mostly built in the areas which receive low rainfall, or the area which does not have any major source of a river. The water from these reservoirs are released with the help of channels and canals for the agricultural use, for drinking, for generating electricity and all other different purpose. And the next we are going to study about the old tank. It is also called as haud. Old tanks are also called as haud, were built in large cities to store water in olden times. Some of them are still in use. How underground water can be drawn? Yes, the underground water can be drawn using hand pump, tube wells and wells. As the water seeps into the ground, we can remove it using these ways. Sanvi and Amay get tap water in their house. As a result, the water from the draw well, which had been used since the olden days, is not used any longer, because of which the grandma is very upset. So can you suggest Sanvi and Amay that how they can use the draw well water
for other purpose than drinking. Yes, here there is a solution. They can use the drawwell water for bathing, washing utensils, washing clothes, and watering the plants. Now let us move us towards the modern methods. The modern methods of water storage includes dams and bore wells. The dams and bore wells are used to store water as they are called as the recent water storage system. Now we will study about dams. Now let us know about dam. Dam is very important and huge water storage in modern times. Dams made it possible to store huge quantities of water. As a result, more land was brought under cultivation and the cities began to grow. It became possible to set up the factories and generate electricity. Now let us learn about the important dams in Maharashtra. The first one is Jayakwadi Dam. It is built on river Godavari in Aurangabad district. The next important dam is Koyna Dam. It is built on river Koyna in Satara district. Ujni is also one of the most important dams. It was built on river Bhima in Solapur district. Yeldari Dam is the second largest dam in Maharashtra. It is built on Purna river at Jintur Taluka of Parbhani district. These dams help the people and the city to grow and develop in a better way. Now we will learn about bore wells. We have studied that the wells were dug to remove the water, but that wells were not very deep. But now, with the help of electricity and electric pump, it is possible to reach the underground water which is very deep. Bore wells were dug to reach the water under the ground, but it was not possible to draw deep-seated underground water. Now, with the help of electric pump, it is possible to do so. Bore wells were dug for this purpose. These wells are very deep but very narrow. Students, can you guess what is this? Have you seen it somewhere else? Yes, these are the big water jars and they are also called as panpoi. Panpoi means drinking water stand. Panpois means drinking water stand. People out on roads need water when they are thirsty. In some places, big clay jars of drinking water are kept for the use of such people. This water is offered free of charge. This is known as panpoi. Panpois are set up by individuals or institutions. Panpois are very useful, especially in summer. Students, you will get to see these big jars of water in the rural areas as well as cities. But in the cities, we mostly have tap water system. But at the time of some festivals, you can get to see these water jars which are kept on the road. Students, now let's see what all things we have learned in this lesson. So first we learned about different uses of water. Next we learned about
Sources of water. Next is availability of surface water and underground water. We need to save and use water very carefully. We also learned about traditional and modern methods of storage of water and their importance. We also learned about the important dams in Maharashtra. And we also learn about how panpois are very useful in summer season. Students, now it's activity time. Write the good habits that we must cultivate in order to use water carefully. Students, hope you understand this lesson. Till then, keep learning, stay safe. Thank you.